chairman, you were doing the product lecture by yourself. So any know-how to do give a good lecture on product, I want to be more confident to talk about products to other people. You know, our vice president, he's really a doctor, and he's giving a really great explanation. And today we listened from the researcher, and he talked about his academic journals, the research papers. So, you know, I'm not really a smart person. So now I'm not giving the product explanation on my own, but before these people were in Atomy, I had to do this by myself, and I was quite good at it. I showed Mr. Yoon the video that I took back then, and any problem in terms of the medical, and he said, "Oh, really, you did a good job. It's really amazing." So this means that I studied a lot about the product, about Hemohim, and one day Dr. Jo Sung-gil asked me, how would you explain immunity? Because he's the expert in immunity. He said he can explain what immunity means in front of the graduate school students, but he has no idea how to explain the concept to the ordinary people in the neighborhood, like old women. So I sent a video how I explain about immunity, and he was amazed at my lecture. So studying about theory is not enough, but I experienced myself a lot. Even now, I believe I'm the one who is using the Atomy products the most. I think I consume Hemoim the most. Tomorrow I go to Seoul, and whenever I travel, I take 2 pouches like this one, these 2 bags. And this one I was carrying with me for 10 years, and it got worn out because I was carrying this with me every day, and my wife bought this bag for me. This one is really expensive. I didn't want this, but anyway, my wife bought this for me. So as you can see here, I have all these cosmetic products inside my bag. This is hair oil, essential oil. I put this on my hair and face every day. Toner. And this toner is really amazing. And sometimes I put the toner as like double layer. It's better than other essence. And I use all these products. Serum. And this is eye cream. I use a lot of products from Atomy. So when you apply BB cream, you first need to apply eye cream before you put BB cream. So you need to put eye cream all over your face and put some BB cream and mix the eye cream with BB cream. And at first, it will whiten your face, and to really make your face glossy, you need to keep rubbing your face with your hands, but still it will look kind of white, and you need to clean the hands with some towel and apply the cream again. Then you will get the perfect tone you want. So until you get the tone, keep rubbing your face with your hands. So it has massaging effect and it makes your face glossy. But sometimes people are only applying the BB cream and they look so white. So it's better to mix together with the eye cream. So there's booster and toothbrush. So these are the products that I'm using. And there's one more bag. And this is health supplement. There are so many inside this bag. This is propactamine. I love this. 2 tablets a day. 2 a day. But I'm taking 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. And this is smart memory. This is to boost memory. And this one, eye health was on tin. So because I look at the phone a lot, I need to look at the screen and I feel my eyes are dry. But after I started taking this, I don't have that anymore. Spirulina and good sleep lactium before I go to bed so that I can have a sound sleep. And biotin. For those of you who have hair loss, who have breaking nails, you need to take this biotin. And zinco and natto, this is really good for your blood circulation. And also palmiton. So I'm getting all these days, so I need to take all these health supplements. So I'm taking these 2 bags with me all the time. And when I'm taking all these pills together, people ask me, is it okay to take all those things at the same time? Yeah, of course it's okay. It should be included in the food, but nowadays there are too many chemicals inside the food, so it doesn't have the nutrients that we need to take every day. So that's why I'm taking all these health supplements. So because I experienced the products myself, so when I feel tired and when I'm exhausted, then I take 2 more shots of hemohim. And when I wake up in the morning, I feel much lighter. Sometimes I feel too energetic. Sometimes I cannot fall asleep. Then I can just work. I can write down the list and check the people on the list and check what I should do the next morning and read books. You need to read books. So buy at least 1 book a week and you read the book in that field. And if you want to have some expertise in that field, you need to buy 10 books and read them. And then decide whether you are going to go into that field. So if you really want to be the expert in that field, you should read at least 100 books. One day, I bought 23 books about stock market and I made up my mind I will not invest in stocks. So after that, I have no regrets. Even though some people say they made a really big success from the stock investment. So what do? I'm not a stock trader, but I will make the stocks and supply in the market. I'm the entrepreneur. That's what I'm doing. So about this entrepreneurship, I read at least 250 books. So life scenario and balanced life. You listen to my lecture for about 40 minutes. Actually, it's 50-hour lecture. So 10 hours a day, and it should be 5 days. 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the evening. So 10 hours of lecture, and you had to write down the life scenario all night long. We did that kind of training program, and there was one problem from that. People are not following because it's too complicated. And if some people can follow this, then I don't even need to teach them. So I need to make people who don't have potential to be successful. So those who already have high possibility to be successful will be successful even without my lecture. So starting from Stephen Covey and Carnegie and Zig Ziglar, Hiram Smith, I read all these people's books. I didn't study for exam at school, but I read all these books thoroughly, and I think somebody stole my book.
Just like that, I studied so much, I memorized everything, and for 50 hours straight, I was able to make a speech and give lectures. So, regarding Hemohim, there will be a book about Hemohim. Let's take a look at the book. Physical book. Looks good, right? So there will be two kinds of Hemohim. The book will be as good as the Hemohim, the product itself. It will be very easy to study and learn things about Hemohim. So move to the next. The development story, the effects, efficacy, every detail about Hemohim is in the book. Let's think about the CIS paper, research papers. How many are we? So 27 countries that Hemohim ended up in, and I think it will be a dozen research papers. So writing one single research paper like that is world class, even one single paper. And there will be a big fuss about it with one research paper, but we have more than 10 of them. A lot of scholars, scientists have already proved the efficacy and effect of Hemohim. So with the release of this book, what should you do? Study Hemohim. So if you don't have much time, you have to be a doctor. You have to earn doctor's degree in Hemohim. You have to be able to tell people everything and anything about Hemohim. If you don't know how to do it, just memorize it, okay? You have to be able to explain about Hemohim. So in sales area, there is a very famous saying. Write that down. So tell by characteristics, speak by characteristics, and sell by effects. So you have to explain about the characteristics, and in order to do that, you have to know the technical details. So you explain about them, but it's not enough. Those who make purchases will ask about the effects, the actual efficacy, and you need to feel the effects yourselves. I used to have fatigue, very severe fatigue, and now it's all gone, and I'm so energetic these days. You have seen me before. I used to be very tired every day, and now I'm very energetic. You can feel my energy from my face, right? I wasn't motivated enough before, and now I use these products, and there are effects visible effects that I myself am experiencing. Chairman was so passionate about all these details, and I think in summary it means we have to study. And there is a very famous lecture given by chairman, and I was very impressed when I first took a look at the lecture. So let's take a look. Our HemoHim product, when you're dealing with the products, you have to be very careful. On news, on the internet, there are a lot of research papers, and we printed them out, and it was very thick. And so there were a lot of research and development. And if we follow the research paper, when you sell the products, you could end up in a jail. Anti-cancer, immunity enhancement, and hematopoietic system enhancement, etc. and etc. Health effects, but some of them should not be spoken to other people. So on paper, they're all proven scientifically. And those who read the papers, they would want to talk about the effects, but it can go against the act of pharmacists, because if you sell pharmaceutical products individually, saying that these are very effective, if you do that, if you sell the products promoting the effects, it is against the law of pharmacists, because we need a license to be able to sell effective health functional foods. So we can sell health functional foods, but we are not allowed to talk about the scientific and medical effect. We can just say, we can only say that it can enhance our immunity. On papers, how about anti-cancer effect? Even if that is true, those who deal with the products are not official pharmacists, so they're not allowed to talk about the details like that. So even if you have read the details from research papers, scientific details, you are not allowed to speak out about it and sell them based on the scientific facts or scientific details. All right? So to doctors, so if doctors recommend patients to consume some of the functional foods, it's not against the law. But we are not allowed to do that because we are not doctors. We're not official pharmacists. Then how about immunity enhancement effect? We are allowed to say that, right? So immunity system protects us from outside. If immunity system breaks down, we will all die from a disease. But because we have an immunity system protecting us, we're able to be alive. Without immune cells, we will be infected and we will have inflammations and we will decompose. So in the stomach, there are hydrochloric acid that catches some of the bad materials, but in our gut and in our intestines, germs are protecting us. Bacteria are protecting us. So we have our immunity system. That is how we are able to avoid decomposing. If blood circulation stops, we will soon start decomposing. What does that mean? Immunity system has also stopped. And that is how our body works. So our body is maintained by our immune cells. And if we are to talk about the immunity system, there are a lot of difficult things and difficult factors to understand. So maybe let me make it simple. Let's think of immunity system as an army. So we have different levels, different grades. We have commander, right? That is lymphocyte, T lymphocyte. And officer, commissioned officer, B lymphocyte. And how about non-commissioned officer? We have macrophage. And we have soldiers. How about them? We have different kinds. It's just like army. We have a very systemized structure. And let's say the commander has different roles. He can actually shoot a gun against enemies. And how about T lymphocyte? T lymphocyte takes the role of identifying the enemy from our friendly forces. So the outside cells are also body cells. So there could be some circumstances where we attack allies. You have heard of rheumatism, right? Rheumatism is called autoimmune disease. It doesn't have many solutions because our body doesn't separate enemies from allies. So we attack allies. That is the autoimmune disease. Bone cells are sometimes identified as enemies, although they're allies. And our soft bones are more vulnerable. And that leads to the breakdown of our immunity system. That is rheumatism. And what is the difference between rheumatism and degenerative arthritis? Arthritis is happening with age, so it's different from rheumatism. So T lymphocyte is to identify enemies from allies. So there is one enemy coming into our body. Let's say there is a bacteria, typhoid the bacteria. And there is this, the disruption happens. So within this cell, the DNA, RNA will be taken from inside. And there will be an analysis done by T lymphocyte. And T lymphocyte decides that there should be a special unit. So there's a command to the officer, commissioned officer. And there's a special unit created by the officer. And that is when the fight starts. And those special units, there are hundreds of thousands of units like them. And it is actually from the moment when we're born. And sometimes they are created only with mother's milk. Some immune cells are created only with mother's milk. And when can this be a problem? So the bacteria ends up in our body, we catch a disease, And that is why we sometimes need vaccination. There is DNA, RNA within the cell, and we found out that it's typhoid bacteria. So we have a special unit already established, right? So that typhoid bacteria, if it comes into our body next time, it is fought against based on the previous experience. And that is how we get the shot, get vaccination. So there's a bacteria, we make analysis, and while we do that, the bacteria can spread across our body. That is how we get disease. So there's a special unit created, the immune cells per se. They are basophilic, and other parts. And the commander's role is very important in this process. How about macrophage? It has a machine gun, let's say. So a lot of pathogens and the growing cancer cells can also be caught by this macrophage. And while doing that, what will happen? It can explode.
So the explosion from this is pus, and cells is a type of white blood cells. So the pus looks like something like white one. So when there's scar, they tell you to touch it after it has the pus, so that we need to be putting some disinfectant to remove the bacteria on the surface. But the bacteria that's already inside the scar is removed by the macrophage. They eat up all these germs and they explode and die. So when the scar gets pus, it means that the white blood cell ate up all these germs and the war has ended. So if you take up the pus, then the germ will not come inside and the new the skin will come up. So this eosinophil, it has little rifle and they shoot at the enemy and make them explode. But normal cell, after they multiply, their growth will stop. For example, the cells that comprise the nose, if they keep multiplying, and everyone will look like Pinocchio. But after a certain period of time, they will stop growing. But there are some cells that do not get the comment from the commander. These are the cancer cells. They keep multiplying. If you look at the microscope to look at the cells to see how they are multiplying, they are like exploding. But the immune system, if you look at how they attack the cancer cells, is as if the hunting dogs going after the wild pig and they eat up the macrophage, and these eosinophils, they are taking up all these cells. So these immune cells, the macrophages, there are a lot of them inside the nose. So when there are some bacteria coming inside the nose, they eat up all these germs. Then why do we have rhinitis? So the immune cells and the outside germ cells, if there's unbalance between them, then they will be having some toxins and it will cause inflammation. So if we reinforce the immune cells, then we can cure the inflammation. So to reinforce the immune cell is critical to protect our health. Hemohim cannot directly heal cancer, You shouldn't be saying that hemoim can cure cancer, but if you take hemoim, it can help reinforce your immunity. That's what we need to say to other people. So then the person maybe will understand what immunity is about and take hemoim. So what we need to be saying is that it can help enhance the immunity. It can help multiplying the NK cell. So this has been proven by the Fair Trade Commission. It can help multiply the cytokine. So cytokine plays a key role in working the immune cells, and cytokine would be a hot issue in the medical field. And hemoheme has been proved by the KFDA to help multiply the cytokine. So if you search about cytokine, you will see tons of information about that, very amazing facts about them. Let's look at the research papers about hemoheme. Hemoheme was developed by the Atomic Research Institute, and there was clinical trial from the Atomic Research Hospital, and there was R&D for 8 years as a national product, and it went through US FDA. And what this means is that there's no problem from taking this health supplement, and this is #1 registered health supplement as the individual ingredient. This means that there's a brand new health supplement in the world. For example, vitamin, there's already criteria in the FDA. So if there are certain grams of vitamin included, will get the approval. But hemoheme, there's no criteria from the FDA, but still it improves the immunity. So we asked the FDA to set the new criteria and give the approval. So this is the first ingredient that asked for the approval from the FDA, and one of the directors from FDA became the member of our company, and as he was working for the FDA, he never saw any other health supplement to be recognized as the individual ingredient. So it's really an innovative case. After hemoheme, there were some cases like that, so we are #1. So people from the FDA and this medical field, they recognize that this truly is an amazing product. And we also got this registered as the immunity patent. So we got the approval from the US FDA. So it shows that there's no issue with the product. As you can see here, this is the sample ID. Hemoheme project name is Jang In-sun. That's the director of the Atomic Research Institute back then. And many patents are registered for hemoheme in Korea and overseas. And there are some parts where we can say and something that we cannot say. We can use the word immunity, but we cannot use the word it helps forming the blood, and we cannot use this word. So this is the name of the patent, the radioactive protective extract. And anti-cancer, no, you can never use this term to describe hemoheme. And immunity and blood formation, in fact, this is what you can use. So at first it was like the Korean Oriental medicine, but this is really highly enriched extract, and the price is really low. At first it was like 770,000 for 60 sachet, but now If you buy 4 sets, it's only 10% of them. So 76,500 won. We reduced the price for this product. And some people ask, why is it 54 sachets? It's not like I took 6 out of the 6 sachets, but actually it was 30 sachets, and we increased this to 48, and we wanted to get more sachets. And our CEO Kim, I asked him to increase the number of sachets in one box. So maybe we can increase the size of the box a little bit, and maybe we don't need to pay more for that. So maybe we can do that in the same price. So I asked him to increase small number of sachets in the box. Now we have bigger tanks, so now we have lower COGS. So it's not really for me, it's for like consumers who are suffering from some diseases, and these people, the sick people, they don't have money. I don't know why they develop the disease, because they are poor, or it's because of the disease that they got poor. So anyway, I increased the number of sachets in the box, 18 more, and then some more. So now we ended up at 54 sachets in the box. So I'm trying to make it 60 sachets a box. I'm trying to persuade them, but the price of the dongcha is like 2 times, 3 times higher, and you know when the price of the produce goes up, and some people will harvest more of that, and then the price will go down. So I'm waiting for the price to go down. So when the price of the produce goes down, I will try to convince the director to increase more sachets in the box, like 60 sachets a box. Yeah, it's really amazing. He increased the number of sachets in the Hemoin bus. He really gave a great lecture. Maybe we need to listen to his lecture on the product. Nowadays, we have the doctor who is delivering the lecture. So back then, there was no other person to give the lecture. So I had to study myself and deliver the lecture. I don't know anything about cytokine or natural killer cell before I got to know about hemoheme. But to sell hemoheme, I had to study. So I started and read books from the medicine, but I couldn't really memorize a lot. But I'm not really that much sophisticated. But with that lecture, I believe many people bought hemoheme because of this. Okay, thank you. So to deliver the lecture, I heard that our chairman read so many books, starting from some cartoons and many other books, and I could see that why he became such a great entrepreneur and founder. And maybe any recommendation on how to give a great lecture for our leaders? He really gave a great lecture. He did all these things for us. And after I listened to his lecture back then, I thought maybe my cancer would not recur. I was a cancer patient before, and it was really effective for me. After taking hemoim, I forgot that she was a cancer patient in the past. Right. So because I experienced the good effects of the product myself, I can truly deliver the message to other consumers. So that's the most effective way of delivering the product. But I saw the good advantage from the product all the time, but sometimes partners are saying that I cannot believe you because you say all the products are great. But I really mean it because I use the product after I study about them. And during the seminar, I really focus on the product lecture and I really paid attention to the lecture of the chairman, and I was really convinced of the effects of the product, and it was really was effective for me when I used the product. So I think it's because I was really sincere about these products because I experienced the products myself. And when you have this sincerity, then you can have confidence when you're trying to introduce the product to other people. So your experience should come first when you're trying to deliver the product to other people.
It's late at night. We have to study, right? And we don't have much time. We're very busy. One of my partners sold the products very well. Just use it, bitch. She was saying things like that to other people. It was from the sincere hurt. That's how she was able to sell a lot of products really well. And chairman also frequently says similar things about products. There are a lot of products in Atomy. Product lines are various these days, 600 product lines, and I don't really have a lot of knowledge about products these days compared to before because I am only at vision lectures. And when you do your business, there could be some situations where you still have to learn about what kind of products there are at Atomy. So 20 to 30 products. And among the products, I used this product and it was really good. And I was really happy with the product. So by exchanging those feedbacks, it will be very useful. So you are the owner of of the supermarket. So you have to confirm what you're selling. Okay? Is that clear? Let's start with ourselves. One thing to add. My skin conditions have changed. Actually, in the past, my skin conditions and were very poor. So if you use Atomy Absolute for only 1 month, it's already patented, right? The technology is proven. So you use it for 1 straight month, give them back to us. We will get you a refund. We are very proud to say that our Absolute products are best quality. And I've been saying this over and over again until now. Nobody wanted a refund. So just like our masters told us, we have to be very confident about products.